Hey guys, wanted to bring you another YouTube video. So obviously we want to talk about the Niners. A couple of things. Yeah, that win against the Bears, that was impressive, but again, that's not going to help enough, I think, because the Cardinals lost. So if the Cardinals won, the gap would be a lot closer, I feel like. But so, and also the Rams won. So this Thursday's game is going to be very pivotal. I feel like whoever loses is definitely going to be out of the playoffs in that sense because you got a small chance, very small, because you got to have some help with the Seahawks losing. I feel like if they get one or two more wins, they might be able to win it, the NFC West. And time is running out. So, like I said, I thought the Niners would have to pretty much win the rest of their games to get in because of tiebreakers situation. And that's why I was more inclined and okay to see the Niners lose enough games to try move up on the draft because that's how we got Bosa that one year. I know the Niners are not the best at drafting in the first round. Whether they are or not, at least that means later in the rounds, which they're good at in the mid, like later rounds, third to even up to seventh, because that's how they found Brock Purdy to be able to get a higher pick in those early rounds. So that's where I was more like, that's how you could rebuild real quick. One of the other things that came up recently was Ian Rappaport is saying that they're planning to extend Brock Purdy. That's another thing I want to address. Obviously, Brock Purdy had a really great game against the Bears, but there's still some games we got to see how he's going to come out on top, especially if he has maybe a shoulder injury. Sure, again, he looked great against the Bears. And this is more of a team, like I mentioned, that you're going to be putting out. Another thing is ironic. Kyle Shanahan looks like he can coach if he does not force things. Again, he's forcing things with Debo and Christian McCaffrey before. So that's where my thing is, again, on showing that, yeah, if you just get your balls to the right playmakers and not force things, then yeah, you're going to have a better opportunity to win that way. I feel like that's like the Buffalo Bills. They spread the ball. You don't know where or which direction the attack is going to be coming from. If you have that balance, that works. I mean, we did not have an elite receiver or running back when we went to the Super Bowl with Jimmy G. Again, it was more balance in that sense. And again, you can't afford to keep everyone. And my thinking is if you got to pay Brock Purdy $50-60 million, I don't know if we could win a Super Bowl. I think you have a better chance if you have like the Patrick Mahomes. That's who you should be giving the $50-60 million usually. Or the Josh Allen that could carry a team. You're on a rookie contract. That's what made Brock Purdy, I think, great and efficient. My comparison would be like this. If you took the blind test, would you take Brock Purdy or Sam Darnold? Sam Darnold's having a better season than Brock Purdy right now. And he's in the playoffs. Yeah, so you can't say that doesn't matter because the contracts. The thing is also, and that's a tougher division because the NFC North is going to probably have three teams coming out of there. And so that's my concern. Is like, I think Sam Darnold is probably going to get like the Baker Mayfield type of contract. the 30 million for per year. So like, I think his contract, Baker Mayfield, is 3 years, $100 million. So I'd rather have someone like that you could build on cheap contract. The cheaper the contract, the better, because that's how they were able to handle with Jimmy G. Because you could sit around so many talented players around those guys. Um, and if Kyle Shanahan is that good, yeah, you could build that way. Um, but if now you're going to have to build with that type of Brock Purdy, that's my concern. So it really comes down to the contract for Brock Purdy. Is he good? I think you could win with him, but it depends on what's around him, because you got an old roster, and like Jennings, he's been playing well, and he's only on 2 years. So I wonder if we're going to extend him. You have Brian Ayuk. You don't know how he's going to come back. I think Debo is going to be gone, which is fine, because obviously we didn't feed him that much lately, and especially yesterday, that was a win. So that's a bigger one. George Kittle, hopefully he's going to age fine. I mean, I would hope to extend him for a couple more years. I think he could retire as a Niner. Um, Obviously, it's hard to replace Trent Williams. There are certain older players that you could probably keep that hasn't like declined as fast as certain players. Christian McCaffrey, I don't think we should have extended him. To be honest, running backs you don't really extend. Yeah, Saquon Barkley is having a great season, and so is Derrick Henry. But again, Kyle Shanahan has been able to find some good running backs, and for him to be able to find Isaac Guerrero, Jordan Mason was another good one that they had. Elijah Mitchell, remember, he was gone on the injured reserve. So, who else was there? So, if you think about it, that's four deep. Christian McCaffrey was on top of the depth chart. Elijah Mitchell. Then you have Mason. That's why last couple of years he hasn't been able to play for that reason. Then you also have Isaac Guerrero. I mean, most teams would be like saying, "Gosh, you should be running with two running back sets." That's probably why I don't think Kyle Juszczyk is going to come back. So we'll see where they're going to go this offseason. I think it's going to be an important offseason to rebuild. Seattle, I think it's going to be kind of dangerous with their defense. Imagine once they have someone that's a cheaper option, maybe. I don't think they're going to keep Geno Smith. If they do, maybe another year or two at most. But I think they're going to be looking like, well, if we could get an upgrade, Seattle's going to be really dangerous, especially the way they're playing defense. Yeah, the Rams are getting hot at the right time. Arizona, they were looking good for a little bit. Now they're taking a step behind. So we'll see. I still think the Niners, it's a tight race, but they got to win all their games. I mean, if they can't win all their games, like I said, if you can't get in the playoffs and have a chance to win the Super Bowl, there's no point. You don't want to be stuck in mediocrity. I'd rather be like picking at the top, rebuild real quick, because that's what happened with Bosa. And then you got a chance to get back in the playoffs and Super Bowl as strong contenders again. Let me know if you think I'm crazy thinking that way, but that's how I always thought for all my sports team. Either you're winning championships or close to it, or you got to rebuild as fast as possible. Because being stuck in mediocrity does not work. Doesn't make sense, especially the teams I like. Besides my basketball team, that's how I like teams to build and not be stuck in that mediocrity, because it's hard in that sense. So go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. And together we can build better tomorrow. Thanks again.